recently that approximately 30% of Medicare is fraud. But another thing I want to mention or point out is government seems to be very bad at making estimates of the cost of things. Your own packet pointed out that the original Medicare estimates by 1990 were off by a factor of about 10 to 1. Cash for clunkers just happened. They thought $1 billion was going to last about 5 months. $3 billion lasted about a month. That's about a 15 times run rate over what they expected. The new program is expected to cost $1 trillion over 7 years. What happens if that opts off by 10 or 15%? And when do we max out the federal credit card?
Thank you for the question. You raised a great issue. The idea that it starts at 8%, how many taxes, how much higher it's going to go. That's why I gave at the very beginning, no matter what bill we bring up, I want you to keep in mind the amount of debt that we have. Who owns the greatest amount of debt in America? Well, technically, that's the number one for foreign countries, but we all own the most through Social Security and Medicare. But what is happening? What is happening is going broke, so we have to call back in the money. So at the same time, the government has to pay for that investment, but they have to go borrow. China is the #1 nation that owns our debt. Why was it that the first place that our new Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, went to China? And what did she say? This is no longer about human rights. We cannot allow that to happen. We have to get our fiscal house in order. I will tell you, cash for clunkers, I voted against it. Did we not learn? And I'm going to tell you why. They can't even get the checks out. They have to hire how many more federal employees to try to make it happen? Do you think those people are going to go away, or do you think it's going to cost more? We have to borrow that money. Did we not learn anything from the housing crisis? The idea that someone can go get a loan with no money down, pay interest only, and buy a house? You need some skin in the game. Did we just go through and give somebody a down payment on a car that 6 months from now they may not even be able to afford the payment? Then the whole idea that we took these used cars out of the market. The whole idea, a car dealer makes more money on a used car margin than they make on a new car. But we've taken it out for what, to get 2-3 miles per gallon more? And the #1 cars that went in were American made, the #1 cars they bought before. All right. Ma'am, yes, yes, yes.
My name is Sarah Bird Lewis. I'm from Bakersfield, and I appreciate this gentleman's passion about insurance for the disabled. I have 2 disabled sons. One is with me who's blind. I have another one who's profoundly disabled. And I understand, I'm raising this one on my own, and it's expensive. And if I were to say I need my government health care because I can't afford insurance, but if the government is going to be the one to tell me, or I'm sitting there with my child and the government's going to come to the point, and it's going to happen, where they're going to decide whether my child is worth insuring rather than your healthy child. And you know, if you don't think it's going to come down to that, you are fooling yourself.
She just raised a point that hasn't been raised yet. It's called comparative effectiveness. Comparative effectiveness was first passed in the stimulus bill. It dealt with health care, but it was passed in the stimulus bill. It sets a commission of 15. In this bill, they have another one to set up, a commission of 15 appointed by the Secretary of Health. Again, no checks and balances. The idea at first is we're going to gather all the information to see what's the best form of technology. Sounds very good, we got to go through it. But where would it go from there? You have the right to raise that issue. You have a right to be concerned about that. Are they now going to start telling your doctor how to perform it without you having the choice of whether you want that performance or not? And it's not just you that asks this question. When I sat with a number of doctors, they are asking this question. So it's a question that has to not be pushed through. It has to be debated and answered. All right. Let's go high. In the corner stand against the wall. I just want to make the guy in the yellow or orange run up there. No, talk loud. Is it on? Check at the bottom. We're coming up one more.
Is this one on? Is this one? My name is Carlos Courtney, and I'm enrolling in CSUB this fall. And see, in this information packet and on the media, whenever I see healthcare reform, I always hear about a lot of uncertainty with the cost for the individual and the premiums. Nobody can really tell you the facts about how much this is really going to cost and where the money's coming from. And I realize that we can't know all the facts ahead of time, but there's a lot of crucial facts that are being completely washed over, and either our government is this ignorant of the facts, or they're trying to hide something from us. And I believe it's important we have the right as people to know what's going behind the bureaucratic curtains of our government. So, in your position, Mr. McCarthy, what's going on here? We deserve to know.
Well, I appreciate the question. In my view, what's going on is sometimes somebody's trying to shove a very bad bill through before anybody would wake up. 17 days, and what they wanted to do, they wanted to have the bill passed and out of the floor before they went on recess so the public wouldn't know about it, before the members couldn't even be able to read about it, and just force you to vote on it. And I will tell you, the power of the people stopped it. The power of the people stopped it. And this August, in this recess, you look at the number of people that were willing to even have a town hall and those who canceled. You got to allow transparency. You got to allow people to have a voice to say whether they agree with you or not and actually know more about it. All right, we're coming back through. Sir, yes. That one. I'll come back to you a little later.
My name is Larry True, and I respectfully submit that the federal government already has 3 different universal health care plans. One for the President, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. One for the VA, and one for the Native Americans. The only plan that works is the one that covers the 3 branches of government. The Veterans Administration and the Native American Universal Health Plan does not work. Before one of our elected officials forces us, the people they represent, to take this new universal health care plan, I say they ought to clean up their own house. First, by fixing the Veterans Plan. Second, by fixing the Native American Plan. If our government cannot fix these small plans that are already in existence, how can the federal government manage a massive health care plan for everybody? Give us, the people of this great United States, the right and the freedom to take care of our own health and stay out of our personal lives.
You raised a great point. Look at what the Veterans Administration just did. They sent thousands of letters out to people and said they had Lou Gehrig's disease instead of H1N1. When someone's willing to risk their lives for our freedom, the number of troops are coming back right now. We're not caring for them enough. The idea of the head injury, the brain injuries that they have coming back, we need to do much more. And one of the problems with the VA, they're more concerned about bricks and mortars than the healthcare itself. They need to be able to open up. Where someone go to the outpatient here, why couldn't you go to a local doctor here to be cared for that you want to? Why